Hey, what's... Oh, dear lord. What is that doing there? There we go. We're just gonna readjust that real quick. Hey, what's up everybody? How you doing? How's everyone doing tonight? Good, I hope. Oop. Hold on, let me adjust my chair. There we go. Hey, Isabel, I see you're in the chat right now. How you doing? Let's see. Readjust this real quick. Slide that over ever so slightly. There we go. Perfect. It's perfectly locked in place. Let's see. I guess we're just gonna chill a little bit until people get in. That is totally cool. Because I have some announcements that I want to... Hey, Nikki, what's good? Good to see you, man. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Just waiting for a few more people to join before we get started, because I have an announcement or two that I want to make before we get into the bulk of our work here tonight. Doing good? That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Hey, E, what's good? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, I see your E's music now. Is this the channel where you like mix your playlists and stuff? Is that what that is? Ah, okay, you did change the title. Okay, gotcha. Also, sorry in advance, y'all, for like delay, like the delay and stuff. I think the latency is a little higher than it normally is for whatever reason tonight. I did just update stream elements tonight. Had an update that needed to be patched in before I started. I was like, oh, great, terrific. So that means another thing is going to be different now than it has been in prior weeks, but that's okay. You know, one thing, they fix one thing, another thing breaks, you go back and forth, and everything remains in balance, basically, right? That's usually just how it goes. That's usually just how it goes. I'm so excited to see y'all. I'm very happy to see y'all here tonight. Basically, our goal here is we're just going to be making kind of a, I don't want to say a sprint, but we're going to be making a pretty a decent effort to get to the end of our paint jobs here for our sisters. We're very close to the end now. We are, I'd say, like 2, maybe 3 steps, maybe 3.5 steps away from finally being done with these models and being able to move on to some new ones. So that is very exciting. Hard to believe it's been a little over a month already since we started this project. But I'm very happy with the way things have been going overall. So yeah, I think we're just going to jump into it. One other thing I want to mention before we get started is I've now brought back the subscriber goal meter because I fixed it, kinda. As you can see, and I've also adjusted our goal too. I think that we can get to 50 subscribers on this YouTube channel by a week from today. So if y'all would just do me a big old favor and help us get to that 50 subscriber goal by this time next week, that would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget, y'all, if you like what you saw here tonight, please remember to leave a like. And of course, y'all are already subscribed, so I don't have to tell you that. But for those of you watching after this, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. It greatly helps out the channel. And don't forget to smash that notification bell. That way you know exactly when I go live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. right here on Chimera Games. Hey Greg, good to see you, good to see you. I was just talking about our newly adjusted subscriber goal. I think we can get to 50 subscribers by this time next week, so I was just asking for y'all's help with that, and to not forget to like and subscribe. Well, all of y'all are already subscribed. I mean, you're literally one of my moderators, so that's beside the point, but you get what I'm saying though. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into things and make an effort at finishing these sisters, shall we? And I'm going to scooch our subscriber goal bar down. OBS, why you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? Alright, and I think we are all set. Hey Janine, what's good? Alright, now here's a concerning thing. The chat widget does not appear to be working, because I do not see it on the stream. So let us go into Stream Elements right now and attempt to fix that. Why, oh why, did Stream Elements have to update tonight? Of all nights. Note to self. Please continue to remember to check. Oh, I know why. Ha. I gotta scooch these around a little bit. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, I figured out what happened. A little bit at least, I think. I think my widgets are stacked a little weirdly. So let me make sure. Let me make sure these are not stacked incorrectly. Could one of y'all send a chat real quick when you hear this? I know, like I said, there's a little bit of a delay, but if y'all could do me a solid and send a chat just whenever you hear me say that, that'd be great. And then we'll jump into everything, I promise. I just want to make sure everything is all sorted before we go any further here. Okay, I see E has sent a chat. Let's see, but it is not popping up. Okie dokie. Terrific. It appears as though Stream Elements has broken itself. Let me just make sure. Let me just make sure it's not like okay, it's not hiding like down there or anything. Okay, so this is not blocking that. At least it shouldn't be. Chat overlay, where are you? Oh, you were right there for some reason. Okay, there we go. For some reason that had gotten slid down. Don't know why, but now I see E's message right there. Okay. That must have been when I was still trying to bring back this overlay. Alright, cool. Well, at least we got that sorted out now. Alright, let's get to painting, y'all. Enough dilly-dallying. So, the main thing we have to focus on right now, really, are just kind of like details on the armor and then like accessories and weapons. So to that end, I'm going to grab a couple different things. I'm gonna grab some, let's see, we'll grab some lead belcher, which is kind of like a gunmetal gray, generic gunmetal gray. Right here, make sure that's all mixed well enough. That's going to be used primarily for the Rosariuses that the sisters are wearing. Some of them have them, some of them don't. Let's see, we need our copper. We need our copper back again for the first time in a minute, because we're going to use that for painting the helmets in part on the sisters. And then we also need, I need Black Templar again. Here's Black Templar right here, because that's what we're going to use for the bolt guns and the bolt pistols. So there is that, and then we also need, what else do I need? That should be it for now. If I need anything else, I'll grab it as we go, but that should be enough to get us started for the time being. So let's lay down the base coats of all these accessories and things. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna really quickly come back to Jan here real fast, actually. So I realized I made a mistake last time. I did not realize that this is actually in a sort of gun holster, so like this part right here with like the clasps on it, that's actually like a leather bag of sorts for her bolt gun, for Jan's bolt gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, we're gonna cover that, and I think we used hardened leather here. We'll kind of like layer it on top just to make it look like, I guess basically a darker leather. Because I totally missed that last time. That was definitely, of course, my fault. Meanwhile, while I'm getting all this ready, I would love, as always, to hear about how everyone's day and or week has been. So please, tell me, friends, how's everyone doing tonight? And then I'll let you all know what's been going on with me too since last we talked. Where is the size? Is this the size 1 brush right here? Yes. This is the size 1 brush right here. We're going to want to use this one. Yeah, here we go. Get that brush ready. Perfect. Up and down kind of week, but today was a dub, so yeehaw. Oh, terrific. Janine says, I'm tired of this grandpa. Why was today a dub? I would love to know why today was a dub for you. And Janine, what do you mean by you're tired of this grandpa? Let me make sure these bristles are all nice and neat before we go any further here. Alright, we can work with that. We're just going to load that up with some paint for the time being. There we go. Nice. Alright, cool. Alright, let's get to it. Gray says, kinda low energy, but I'm gonna see if I still know how to paint. Ah, word, alright. Oh, I thought you meant like you were tired of a specific, like, grandpa in your life. Maybe not your own grandpa, but like a grandpa that you know. This adulting shit is ghetto. Oh, man, I heard that. Oh my god, I heard that. Let's see. Good filming day and got some energy back. Oh, that's good, E. That's good. I'm excited to see what more you've filmed for the good people of the world. Later this adulting shit is ghetto. I fucking agree with that. Gray, what are you gonna be painting tonight? And why is it not a Warhammer model? No, I'm kidding. I know that this is not your jam. Not that it has to be. Also gonna use this hardened leather speed paint color for the leather belts and holsters and stuff that are being worn by the sisters here too. It's nice because this sort of black Templar undercoat's going to give us some variation between the leather back here and the leather right here, which will be interesting to see. And actually, I might as well, while I'm in the hardened leather here, might as well do all of the leather belts and stuff here too. Yeah, speaking of adulting shit, like, man, work's got me beat, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, work has got me beat. And I suspect that's what's on a lot of our minds too here lately, because I know y'all are busy as all get out lately. Here lately. I love the way that hardened leather looks on the holster, on the scabbard here. Whole reason why I wanted to make sure that we didn't get anything else on this undercoat. Gray says, well, first I have to stretch the canvas, so maybe no paint tonight, but I've been working on a portrait. Ooh, that's cool. I didn't know you had to stretch canvas before you start painting on it. That sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of muscle work. Sounds like it'd be a good workout potentially. Because painting canvases are usually like pretty taut, from what I've observed. Is everything going all right at work, Janine? I already have an expensive hobby, so no Warhammer for me. Very fair. Very fair. I'm gonna paint this holster a leathery brown too. Very expensive. What, Warhammer models? Shit, yeah. Yeah, they really are. They do be pricey though. You don't have to, but it can be cheaper. I paint very large, so I can't afford the pre-made canvas. Ah, I see. So you're like making your own canvas yourself. I see. How much cheaper is it to prep the canvas like that by yourself, out of curiosity? I imagine considerably. It is a workout. I got checked. Dang, you had to change for it? Shoot. Man, I feel that. I remember there were some days this past summer that were like really hot, and I was like, man, if I'm gonna be like leaning over my desk for like 6 hours at a time doing all this painting, I gotta like put on like a tank top or something. Because otherwise it'd be just way too hot. Dang, well, best of luck with the workout that is canvas stretching. As you do that. I'd be very curious to see how the self-portrait turns out. I hope you post that to your Instagram. Or wherever you're sharing your art nowadays. You should see their guns. Yeah, I bet, because Gray, I know for a fact that you work out all the time. Not all the time, but definitely way more frequently than I do. I do not work out at all myself. The thought of working out makes me want to how do I put this lightly? Vomit. That's just me though. I respect the shit out of all my friends and all the people in my life I care about who are like super duper active and whatnot. I'll just shake this up one more time because I can see it separating a little bit. Okay, moving on. I caught myself about to move on to a different step, but I told myself I'd do all the leather bits first, so we're gonna focus on that. Any and all leather bits we can find on our models, we're gonna cover those first before we move on to anything else. I like to group together like my painting steps like this in order to keep everything nice and organized, in order to make sure that I have, like, you know, the exact paint I need at the exact moment I need it, you know what I'm saying? Keep everything all nice and tidy and clean. Also helps me to keep track of like what's in the middle of drying before I move on. Oh, hey babe, welcome back. I didn't realize you had gone away. Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. Oh, you're not, yeah, don't worry, you haven't missed very much at all. How was dinner? What'd you have? Was it good? You gotta purchase the bars and the canvas. Canvas can come with or without gesso, or gesso? I don't know how to pronounce that. With gesso, a 6-foot roll costs like $60 to $120, but without gesso, it's very cheap. Ah, I see. Got it. Ooh, quesadillas. Very nice. Nah, quesadillas. Oh, that sounds great. What type of quesadillas? Which is why we also use muslin for costume mock-ups. Oh, what's muslin? I've never heard of that before. Need a little bit more of my hardened leather here. It's just a type of cotton. Oh, I see, it's a type of cotton fabric. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. So do you paint a lot in your line of work as a costume designer? Or do you mainly just like sketch and like draw digitally? Gray's a costume designer, by the way, y'all. I don't know if I mentioned that, but in addition to all the many other things they can do, they also are a costume designer extraordinaire. In fact, that's what they are currently in grad school for, which is pretty freaking cool. It's kind of tan khaki in color and comes in different weights. Interesting, interesting. There are a lot of there's a lot of splotchiness on this sister that we are going to have to go back and fix at some point. Yeah, this sister kind of got messed up a little bit here and there, but that's okay. Better we notice that now than when we think we're done later on, honestly. Okay. No leather on this sister. No leather on this sister. Cool. My plan right now is to handle all like the non-metallic extra elements I want to do before I move into the metallic ones, just to preserve the integrity of our paint water a little bit, not cross-contaminate between the non-metallic and metallic paints. I've done a little distressing work as an assistant, painting sweat and grass stains or blood. Oh, I see. So that's how that skill gets incorporated. That's tight. Have I ever asked you, Gray, what like your favorite costume, like one of your favorite pieces you've designed so far has been? Let's see. How do I want to do this? Definitely want to load up the Black Templar here. But designers traditionally just do the design, so renderings and shopping and then craft work and costume builds are done by a shop. I see, I see. So you don't actually construct the costumes yourself. I'm gonna spread this paint out a little bit more, just because I see it's kind of puddling in some places. We don't really want that to happen. No construction for me. No construction for me unless I'm doing storefront theater. What's storefront theater? That's actually a term I'm not familiar with, even as someone with an acting degree. You know what? Instead of using black for the chainsword here, I'm gonna use a different color. I need a color that I haven't used in quite a while, actually. I need speed paint runic gray. Where is my runic gray? Here we are, runic gray. This is kind of like a bluish gray. Because no money. I gotcha. So yeah, we're gonna use this on the Sister's Superior's chainsword right here. Let me shake that up because I haven't used this in like ages. Oh, Isabel, I missed your message about what you said you had in your quesadillas. Different veggies and cheese, that is the way to go. Those are my favorite types of quesadillas. I don't really like meat in my quesadillas. I much prefer just like cheese and veggies myself. Fun fact about me. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I like the way that looks. I'm gonna go back and add some highlighting to that later, I think, but I like the way this looks. I definitely like the way that this looks. This Runic Gray is one of my favorite colors in my collection. I love me some desaturated blues that almost look like grays, or that basically are grays. We'll make like the holster, or like the hilt here. Make the hilt and cross section, or what would be a cross guard if this were like a normal sword, we'll make that black. Storefront theaters like smaller theater companies. I think we say storefront because back in the day they could only afford a tiny space like a storefront. Ah, makes sense. And the mythology checks out. I feel like so many things from like theater have very similar very similar origins to that. Like for example, the reason why theater people tell each other to break a leg, which is like one of the few things I actually like remember wholeheartedly from like theater school, or like from my first year at theater school. Basically with that, what happened with that is maybe 1 second here. Sorry, I just gotta focus on getting this paint moved around on the way I want it to be. Yeah, the mythology for real. So the reason why people in theater say break a leg is not because they are like wishing you bad luck, like for you to actually break your leg in order to then like reverse psychology your way into like good luck. It actually comes from the days of vaudeville theater, where actors back in those days, you only got paid in vaudeville if you made it onto the stage, or in other words, if you crossed the boundary between the front of the proscenium arch and the leg of the curtain, right? So when they told you to break a leg, they would wish people to break a leg because they would want them to make it onto the stage so that way they get paid. So that's where break a leg actually comes from. Have fun at trivia night with that one, everyone, in case you did not know that. Although I'm pretty sure a pretty solid number of you here in the chat actually kind of already knew that. But now you can impress some people, maybe your parents, other family members, friends, other types of loved ones with that little bit of knowledge. You didn't know this? E? I'm surprised. You didn't, I learned that from Introduction to Theater Studies. Not Theater Studies, Theater Production. But I had Chris for that class. For those of you who don't know, Erica and I, we went to the same school. We both went to the Tisch School of the Arts, so we took a lot of the same classes, which means she also went to the same school as Isabel and I, because we were all Tisch drama graduates. Gotta love acting school. Gray was saying, oh, E, what did you hear? Gray says, Lamau, I was thinking it either has to do with the curtain legs or Booth breaking his leg, or both breaking his leg when he jumped. Oh no, like John Wilkes Booth breaking his leg when he jumped off the balcony after capping. Oh my god. Close, very close, but alas, no cigar. Very, very close though, very close. Yeah, I'm curious to know what you heard, what you thought the reason, or what you thought the origins of breaking a leg were. Okay. Cool. So that's that covered, and on to the next. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to take the... Gotta do the holster, because it's like, or the butt of the pistol right here, because it's like kind of poking out the holster a little bit. I heard it was like an Uno reverse. Yeah, no, that's what I was just saying. I was just saying before that, like, yeah, a lot of people think that it's like a reverse psychology type beat, but in fact, it is not. It is not. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. I heard, speaking of the room, I heard the other day that Tommy Wiseau is actually coming out with like another movie. I forget what it's called, but I saw it on Twitter. Not saying everything on Twitter is to be believed, of course, but like I think it was like a Variety news article or something like that. So I'm assuming that means the claim is legit, of course. But yeah, looks like we got like something to look forward to from old Mr. Wiseau. E says like lucky is so scarce, so they wished bad luck because wishing good luck was often actually worse off. Oh yeah, I've been lied to, cries. Well, at least you know the truth now, E. Take comfort in the light of the truth. Grace says, what? Yep. It is true. Or it might not be a new movie, or it's something based on The Room. I gotta go back and look. Also, I think he streams like The Room on weekends, like on Twitch or something. I was sitting around, or not on weekends, or like through the weekend, like through to Monday, cause like I was sitting around at work one day, and like I was like going through Twitch because I was turning on some Bob Ross stream for the office, so we could all have that to vibe to. And I saw Tommy Wiseau pop up in my recommendations, and he was streaming The Room on Twitch. Like, I'm not even kidding. Isabel says, oh no, Romeo had to go to the vet. Is he okay? What's up with Mo? What's up with my boy Mo? I'm mourning Jonathan Majors. Good lord, aren't we all? Good God almighty, aren't we all? Oh boy. I am so sorry for your loss, Janine. I know that was your boy. Oh shoot. His neck. Oh, from when he fought Kira. Oh, I see. Yeah. Poor guy. I hope his neck feels better soon. I hope he recovers from that soon. I hope Kira leaves him alone in the future too. Kira is one of Isabel's family's like bigger dogs. Siberian Husky. Kind of still a puppy too, so very rambunctious and rough housing type, you know. E says, oh no, is he okay? No. Not mourning him, not mourning Jonathan Majors for those reasons. No, he's just, you know, he's done some shit in recent times. Yeah, just gonna leave it at that and leave it to you to look into the news and what's been going on with him lately. Cause that shit is just fucking hell. Disgusting and terrible. Isabel says he got pain meds, he's a little high. Oh, poor Mo. Well, I hope the pain meds help him, and I hope he makes a very speedy recovery soon. It's my guy. I love that little dog. Mo's such a good boy. Alright, let's get this painter, or this flamer painted. He says thank you. Of course, Mo, of course. Give him a hug and kiss for me, please. My brave little boy. My brave little man. I love that dog. Let's see here. What's one thing that everyone's looking forward to this upcoming week, or maybe this weekend, whichever? I don't think I've ever asked y'all that before, but I'd love to hear one thing that everyone's looking forward to coming up here soon for them, if anything. New Genshin update, a character I love is being released. Oh, that's cool. What's oh, that's right, you were talking about that yesterday, duh. Which character is that again? And what do you mean by characters being released? Like, were they like not already in the game? Because I'm confused, because it sounds like you already like know and love this character, but like, wouldn't they have to be in the game for that? Or am I wrong? Please help me. I'm still so uneducated with Genshin, and I have not played it in like 5 or 6 days. It's been like a week. I haven't played it in a minute. Not since the last time I told you I played it. I was playing it. I think I mentioned this before, but E is a fellow content creator herself. She makes content about Genshin Impact, which is a fun game, I must say. Of the little bit I've played, I gotta say I have been really enjoying that game. Quite nice. It's quite nice. Okay. Kava. Oh, that's Kava. Yeah, that's right. He was in a story, so we met him, but he's officially being released as a playable character. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. I'm like about 1,000,000 years away from being at like that point in the story. No more NPC arc. That's good. That's good. Well, that's exciting. It's very exciting. I didn't realize that like characters who have been featured as like NPCs in the story would like eventually come out and be like playable characters. That's exciting. That's cool stuff. That is cool stuff to see. Oof. Also, I should say too, only the yassified NPCs can be playable. Ah, I see it. Oh yeah, that makes sense. The ones that clearly look like they could be a playable character if they weren't an NPC. Yeah, I see what you mean by that. I gotcha. Did you happen to catch the South Park? Oh my god, yes, Nikki, I was just about to mention that. Yeah, so there's this clip going around where yeah, Stan plays sisters, yeah. So like I have not watched South Park since I was like in high school, but you know, I was literally on Instagram, literally posting about this stream, and I was looking through my stories, and I saw that someone shared that clip where like Stan and his dad like go on a spring break trip or whatever, and like you know, like his dad wants to like get crunk and shit and like do wild. She's like, come on, let's go, like, let's just go be boys or whatever. And he's like, and Stan's just sitting there like, oh, I'm painting my miniatures though. I'm like, so real, so relatable. And then his dad's like, what's that? And Stan's like, you haven't heard of 40K? And his dad's like, oh yeah, sure, I've heard of 40K. That sounds dope. Like, let's do it, as if like 40K is like some sort of drug or whatever. And then it's just a hard cut to like them sitting at the table playing a game. And Stan plays sisters. I was like, hey, turn up. As soon as I heard the words, so my retributors are going to fire, I was like, oh my god, he said the name. He said the name. I use that unit. That's my favorite unit in my army. Anyway, always excited to see when like nerdy shit hits the mainstream. Kind of like way back in the day with the Magic the Gathering episode that they did. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's pretty dope. That was like genuinely the first time I'd been excited about South Park in like 5 years. So yeah, there we go. You know, speaking of South Park, I still gotta go with my girlfriend and try and see Book of Mormon. That's a show that I've not seen yet. I've heard all the music. I've heard the official soundtrack so many times. I've still never actually seen the show, and I really want to at some point. But yes, Nikki, thank you for reminding me about that. I almost fell out of my chair when I heard him say the word retributors. I was like, oh my god. That's crazy. And like the rule books looked so legit too, and like the little graphics on them. I was like, oh my god. And like I saw he had like rhinos on the table and everything. I was like, wow. They paid attention to detail. They did a little bit of good old research there. Speaking of books and rules and stuff, Nikki, did you see the news about the new army building rules that are coming in 10th edition? Oh wait, that's right. You don't really play the game though, but maybe I don't know. Maybe you did see the news. A lot of people, because like it's kind of going around a lot. You gotta go. Okay, great. I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by, fam. I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Yeah. Right now, the entire like Warhammer community, at least, and especially the part of it that like actually plays the game, are kind of waiting with bated breath on Games Workshop, the makers of the game, to release more information about what the new edition of the game is going to be like, because it's supposed to drop sometime this summer, we're anticipating, which I have my own thoughts and feelings about. But yeah, lots of new news coming. I saw Kill Team is really the only thing I've played. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Yeah, overall, I'm excited about 10th edition, because I think, like, you know, in terms of, like, you know, making the game a little bit more simplified, but not simple, to use their words, is, like, I think that can only be, like, a really healthy thing for, like, the game, especially for getting, like, new players into it. My only gripe isn't even really a personal gripe for myself, but really for, like, other players, specifically if you're, like, an Imperial Guard or World Eaters player. Because those armies literally just got their 9th edition codexes after being stuck in 8th edition for like 2 years, like about a month or so ago. Anything that makes the game more approachable is good news though. Yeah, I fully agree. I was saying, like, I feel bad for like Imp Guard players and World Eaters players who like are only going to have like a few months to play around with like their 9th edition codex, because it sounds like, at least based on what I've read so far, the inference I've made is that a lot of like the individual army rules, because they're going back to indexes, are going to drop at the same time. So like very quickly, especially if it's like a newer 9th edition book, like they're going to be made obsolete pretty quickly. Which, you know, it sucks for those players, but overall I think it's very healthy for the game, because if there's one thing that I've like hoped for forever, it's for Games Workshop to release rules all at the same time, so that everything's like balanced against everything else. So yeah, I think this can only be a good thing, especially for making the game more approachable. Now people will have to like buy fewer books, rely on like fewer resources. Hey Zeal, welcome in. We were just chatting a little bit about some Warhammer tings, about a recent feature on an episode of South Park for one thing, and then about the new edition of the game that's going to be dropping soon for another. So yeah, I was just sharing a couple of my thoughts on that matter. How are you? We got to do another Christian original TM D&D campaign. Oh my god, Janine. Oh my god, you just... I completely forgot that... Because that was so long ago. Oh my god. That was like ages ago. We haven't played that in like forever. Yeah, the physical book thing containing rules has to go. Keep it just lore in those books and keep the rules digital. Yes, I fully agree. And like I remember reading too that they're going to be releasing a lot of rules digitally online, which is like so good. Like I think at the very least we're getting like the full core rule set for 10th edition online, which is just great news. Because having to own like a ton of books just to play this game, it's just kind of ridiculous, you know? Not kind of ridiculous, it is ridiculous. So yeah, that is definitely a big ol' plus. It's nice to see GW taking another step into the 21st century with that move, so to speak. But oh my god, yeah, honestly, next time we're all in town, Janine, I'm so down for another like D&D campaign. Not too shabby, Zeal says. I got a job at my local library contingent upon my references actually responding to the... Oh, congrats! Congrats on the job offer, because I know that was something that you were super stressed about, but that's exciting. My god, is this the same library that you... I'm guessing this is the same library that you go to all the time, right? So they kind of know you there, which is dope. There's some poggers in the chat for Zeal for being hashtag employed. Hashtag booked and busy. No, that was not a pun because she might be working at a library soon. Who knows? Hashtag booked and busy. Okay. Hey, that's awesome, Zeal. Okay, yeah, same library. I thought so. I thought so. I thought so. I thought so. I literally grew up going to this library. Aw, that's so sweet. Little full circle moment. Little full circle moment. Pre-employed, perhaps? Yeah, pre-employed. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Okay, I gotta think about what to do next here. How do I want to go about doing this? I think the next thing I want to do is we want to move to the lead belcher, I think, next. One second here. Why is me so phone buzzing like that? Left alarm on. That's Sometimes I've always wondered what it would be like to be a librarian. I actually saw someone at work today asked me, like, you know, we were just like chilling, shooting the shit at lunch, and one of us had like asked the group, like, what would you do? What would you want to do if like money were like not an issue? Like, what if money were like not an object? And like my first instinct was, of course, like acting, you know, because that's what I went to school for. But like, you know, like if I really could like do like anything and like not have to worry about money, one thing I thought about was like how when I was a kid, I wanted to be two things. I wanted to be an archaeologist so I can go digging for dinosaur bones because I was a big dinosaur kid. And the other thing was a lepidopterist, which is a butterfly scientist, because growing up back home in the DMV, I used to go to... Hold on, give me one second. Let me find my paint before I go any further with this story. Let me see. There we go. Perfect. Where's my brush? It is in my beard. Of course it is. What was I saying? Yes, so my coworker asked us all, like, what would you want to be right now? What do you want to be doing right now if you didn't have to worry about, like, you know, making money for a living? And I said like two things. I said I wanted to be an archaeologist, because that's what I wanted to be when I was a kid, you know, digging for dinosaur bones and stuff. And then a lepidopterist, which is a butterfly scientist. Because growing up back in the DMV, I used to go to the Natural History Museum a lot, the Smithsonian Natural History Museum a lot, especially with like school field trips and stuff. And at the Natural History Museum, I don't know if it's still there, but at least back in those days, there was a butterfly room where you would go in and it was like this like really cool greenhouse like area where you just go in and there are like butterflies of all kinds flying around you, you know, just doing butterfly things. And I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And like, I remember as a kid wanting to like work there in the butterfly room, because I think it'd just be cool to chill with the little guys all day. Which might come as a shock to some of you, especially if you like know me and know that I'm like kind of afraid of bugs low-key. But not butterflies though. I love me some butterflies. Love me the butter babies. I used to call them when I was like 8. Butter babies. Babies made of butter. Yeah, what about y'all? Do y'all have anything like that? That little part right there. Let me get some of the actual bolts on the inside right here too. That part's not visible, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. I'm gonna save that part for a little bit from now. Does she have any grenades on her belt? Yes, she does. She has one grenade right here. Glad I looked for that. I was about to fully miss that. Oof. Where are you? There you are right there. Perfect. What time is it? Oh, it's not even 8 o'clock yet. We are making stunning progress right now, friends. Okay. There we go. Get that grenade on this belt right here too. Just like to do all the little extra metallic features like this, just in a simple gunmetal gray type color, just to save a little bit of time. There's such tiny details that, and since these are like my sort of battle line troops, I don't really care to make them stand out that much. You know, so we're not gonna stress out too much about that. Just gonna do just enough to get like the point across and then sort of leave it at that. You know, it's kind of our aim here with this step. Add just enough detail without really overdoing it. Oh, you know what I just remembered? I've actually started using TikTok, guys. Like, I've had like my own personal TikTok account that I've been using for like, you know, just for like, you know, my own personal browsing for like, you know, the last couple of years or so at this point. But now I'm actually like on TikTok using it for this channel. If you want to follow me on TikTok, I will drop the @ in the chat right now. While I'm thinking about it. That is my @ on TikTok. In case y'all want to go check that out. It's maybe right now, it's just like a couple of Warhammer related memes. But I'm also gonna put like clips from like this live stream on there too. Just like I do on YouTube Shorts and on my Instagram. So yeah, there's that. He's already getting, I'm not getting famous on there, but I will say, YouTube, if you're listening to this, eat my frickin' shorts because, I didn't even mean for that pun. Like, yeah, YouTube, eat my shorts, cause like, for real, like, my videos, they pretty much, my short videos pretty much die on arrival here on YouTube, I'm not gonna lie. And you know, like, it's not like, I'm not expecting like big numbers, right? Like, I'm not expecting big numbers at all. Like, I got 45 subscribers, you know, and I know my channel's very small and I'm just starting out. Like, I can accept that. I can accept all that. What I can't accept, though, is YouTube curb stomping the exposure of my videos, like the reach of my videos, right? Because like I can literally see like I can see the graphs of everything like on the back end, right? Like I know part of it's on me to like make it as like discoverable as possible. Like yeah, sure, but like dang, like I didn't even try on TikTok and I've already got more views on both of those TikToks than the last 7 or 8 shorts I produced combined. And I'm just like, that's interesting. I'm just like, that's so interesting to me, especially because like YouTube and like Meta through Instagram Reels want to like kill TikTok. I'm like, you're not gonna, because at the end of the day, it's still the chief platform for short form content, especially, and like for growing an audience too. So, not saying I'm not gonna post on Reels or on YouTube Shorts anymore. Of course, I'm still going to, because I have to. Really, if I want this channel to grow. But I will be definitely more active on TikTok from now on than I have been, which is to say, at all. I will be on TikTok, period. I will be active on TikTok, period, starting from now on. So yeah, definitely check me out on Chimera Talk, guys. At Chimera Talk on TikTok. And I will put the link in the description of this live stream at some point in the near future. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Also, and this kind of goes without saying, but I really appreciate hearing stories about y'all's days, what's going on with your lives, you know. I just appreciate the fact that you feel comfortable telling me that sort of stuff, and I love hearing about y'all's days. It's good to see how y'all are doing, you know. I hope everyone continues to do alright, because man, oh man. This adulting should be hard, yo. It'd be so hard. Here lately for me, the big thing that's kind of been on my mind is that, I don't know, should I say this on live stream? I don't think my bosses are going to see this or anything. And they're going to find out eventually. I'm looking for a new job right now. I am looking for a new job right now. At the same place. Like, I've applied to a couple of positions at the same place where I already work. Just because I'm looking for a position that's going to give me, like, a little bit more, I guess, independence as a professional moving forward. You know, part of me was like, do I really want to commit to, like, a big boy full-time position like this? And the answer is yes. Partially because my bank account says I must, but also to, like, you know, even though one day I do want to be an actor, like, I've been slowly, you know, coming to peace with the fact that that's just, for me right now, I personally just don't see that in the cards for myself. And that doesn't mean I'm giving up on the dream. You know, all it means is that right now, the artistic project that I gotta work on right now is myself and taking care of myself. Plus, like, it seems like this job might have some really cool opportunities that come with it, especially like traveling to like different parts of the world potentially. Like, I've never done that before. I've only ever been out of the country one time in my entire life. And that was at some point in, it was my senior year of high school. I did an exchange program to France for a little bit, and that was really cool. Really stretched my French skills to the test. I was terrified. And like, yeah, like, I love my current job. I love it so much, but at the same time, like, I feel like I've started to outgrow the position, and I'm just ready kind of for the next step. I'm also ready to, like, get off of, like, being paid hourly and, like, start making, like, a salary, just because, like, I put so much of my time and effort and, like, energy into that job. And, you know, sometimes, and, like, I'm always doing that, right? No matter how many hours weekly I work. But of course, if I work fewer hours weekly, I get paid less. And, like, just in my heart of hearts, in the very soul and core of my being, that just irks the ever-living crap out of me. So we're gonna give it a shot. So please be rooting for me, y'all. I really could use your support emotionally, especially on that front. And also, you know, if y'all have anything out there that you want to pursue, you know, I hope you can find it in yourselves to go after that, because each of you deserve the very best that this life has to offer, always. And, you know, no one out there that can tell you, like, what you're worth, you know? Only you can know that. And if you think you're worth more, go for more, you know? There's a little unsolicited Chimera Games branded advice for you right there, I suppose. Hope you don't mind. I'm also just been inspired by, like, friends of mine, some of whom are here in this chat, who have been going after the things that they want here lately, you know? Pursuing, you know, content creator careers and goals and stuff. Going to grad school. Going after the job that they want, going after their dream job, you know? Which, you know, there are no guarantees with any of that sort of thing, right? But it's the pursuit of it, you know? It's the journey, not the destination, that counts. And I'm a big believer that, you know, when stuff that you really thought was meant for you passes you by, all that means is that the next thing that comes along is going to be, like, even better. It's gonna be the actual best thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big believer in that sort of thing. So yeah. No matter how grim dark things might get here at Chimera Games, we always deal in unabashed optimism here. Not unwarranted optimism. Not reckless optimism, but, you know. I will not be ashamed to be optimistic when the occasion is right, when the timing is right for it, you know? Alright, I'm done. I'm done with the pontification now. Thank you guys for listening to me, for bearing with me. These are the things we think about while we paint. Hence are the meditative effects of miniature painting. Okay, let's pick that up. I might actually also pick out this belt buckle here too. Perfect. Okay, cool. You know what? Another big dub for me this week has been, though. I finally learned how to, like, format and, like, make shorts. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I was saying I finally figured out how to, like, format manually and, like, make from scratch shorts and reels and stuff like that inside of DaVinci Resolve. It's like, that's a... Oh my gosh, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Getting the hard part out of the way done. Out of the way and done for me. Much obliged. Oh my goodness. But anyway, yeah, so I was very excited to learn that new skill. I've been, you know, editing on DaVinci Resolve for a little while now. I'd say like maybe like a year, almost 2 years at this point. So I'm excited to just, of course, deepen my knowledge and skill set with that particular piece of software. That particular beautiful, gorgeous piece of free software. Because I do not have the money to be paying 20 bucks a month for Adobe Premiere. I just don't. Now, of course, there are some things you can't get in the free version of DaVinci Resolve, but they give you most everything you need, you know? And I'll take most everything over nothing. Looking at you, iMovie. Per dubs. Yeah, thanks, E. Okay. That looks I think we'll move on for now and come back later if we need to. Okay. So that's that. Let's move on now to the fun part, which is going to be now going back to our copper color to do other armor details on our sisters. Also, I know that there are several mistakes present on these models. Hold on, give me 1 second. There are several mistakes present on these models, but I'm waiting until I finish all like basically like the base coding / you know, like detail steps before I like go back and correct them in case I make more. That way I can get them all in one fell swoop. Quick hydration break time now. Please feel free to hydrate along with me too if you feel so inclined. Whew. Take a quick stretch too, since we've been working for a little over an hour now. I felt amazing. That felt fantastic. Let's see. Okay. Cool. All right. Back to it. So just gonna shake up my copper a little bit. Just gonna shake up this copper a little bit. There we go. That should be good enough. If it's not, we will adjust. Gonna put the copper down. We'll put it down like right here. Cool. Okay. This step is the one I've been kind of the most excited about, because I feel like once I get these details, especially like on the rest of the armor here, like this project's gonna just really start to jump to life. Just making sure that's nice and well mixed before you go any further. I just remembered I have spinach in the fridge that I need to eat at some point. I sometimes, and this is a cue I've actually taken from my girlfriend, I sometimes just eat spinach just raw, straight out the bag. It's like a little snack, little healthy snack. Actually, I might punch in a little bit for this next part so y'all can see it a little bit better. Make sure that's in focus, Christian. Kind of have to lean in a little bit here. Looking so good. Thanks, babe. Like trying to find like a position I can. Hold on. Let me adjust my mic a little bit, because I kind of have to lean in for this part so I can actually see stuff, you know. There we go. Okay. Okay. Sorry if the camera's like out of focus, y'all. Unfortunately, my lens that I have on this camera is not very powerful. Although one day I do hope to save up enough to buy a new one. A new, slightly, more zoomy lens. A wider lens is what I meant to say. This might be a 2-coat job. Music is fire. Ah, glad you think so, E. This is, I'll tell you in just a little bit which Stream Beats playlist this is. Or I guess I should say Stream Beats album. Because I have a few different of the Stream Beats albums, a few different ones of the Stream Beats albums in here. Okay. See, this that I'm doing right now is kind of like what people often envision when they think of me as like a miniature painter. They imagine like the entire process is like a step like this where you're kind of just like hunched over, like you're really like looking at the model like very closely and trying to get like your brush into like every tiny nook and cranny. But as y'all have seen, that's really only like part of the process, you know. Kind of tend to start big and look and like go more narrow, go smaller as you go, you know. Okay, the good thing about Vallejo metallic paints, I'll give them this because I don't really like Vallejo metallic paints as much as I do other brands metallics, but they do dry extremely quickly. So for more delicate detail work like this, that kind of makes them ideal, because then if like, or at least for me in this case, because now I'm like able to like go and like reinforce the coat kind of like instantly. Because like my main problem with the Vallejo metallics is their relatively poor coverage to their to some of their counterparts, I must say. Speaking of poor coverage, got a little bit of a dink right here that I want to cover up. Not a dink, we just kind of missed a spot way back when we were doing this step with the cloth here. So I want to go ahead and cover those before we go any further, since I am truly giving myself nowhere to hide at the moment, because y'all can definitely see that in 4K, or rather 1080p. At least I hope it's 1080p. It should be 1080p. Okay, okay. Touch that, oh, of course we gotta get Jan's sister's helmet here. Her fellow fallen battle sister. Her lover. Gotta get her helmet too. Got a little bit of a dink there from when I was doing the whatchamacallit layer. The cloth layer before. So we're gonna have to go back and cover that, because that paint is definitely dry, because I was like maybe what, 2 streams ago at this point, right, when we were working on that part. It's been a hot minute, that much I know for sure. That's okay, I have an idea of how we're gonna cover that up. I have an idea on how we're gonna cover that up. Isabel says, Jan, yep, it's your girl. It's your girl, Jan the man. The myth, the legend. Okay. Okay. Don't hate that. We're definitely gonna have to go back and clean it up later, but I don't hate that. Alright. So that's one helmet down. Well, I need to take a quick closer look at this myself before I move on. You know what? I might try a little bit of an experiment here. I might try, instead of the copper, I might try the rose gold instead. Because while things are not going poorly with this copper paint right now, I think they could be going better if we used a better metallic paint. I'll refocus the camera in 2 seconds, y'all. Just give me a second here. Gonna get our rose gold back out. Gotta readjust the camera here. Alright, now we're back to a bit more of a normal view. Hope y'all enjoyed that closer look at the painting process a little bit. How do I sound right now, y'all, by the way? Do I sound okay? I just turned up the gain on my microphone a little bit. Do I sound alright? Hopefully not too fuzzy or anything like that. Oh, and E, I owe you the name of the Stream Beats playlist that one song you liked is from. That one would be... Where is... Let's see, audio's good? Perfect. Alright, cool. Let's see, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it is the Stream Beats album titled Supreme. So if you look up Stream Beats by Harris Heller, the Supreme album, that is the one that you would be looking for songs of that vibe. And that particular song was called Switched On. So there you go. Hope that helps. Okay, so let's give this rose gold a shot instead for the next helmeted sister. I think Citadel's metallics are low-key better than Vallejos. Not by like a tremendous margin, but enough to matter. Enough to matter. No problem, me. Always happy to recommend point my friends toward new tunes. I love sharing playlists with people. If I share a playlist with you, it's because you're an important person to me, and I want to share my music with you, because like music's one of my favorite things, you know, so... I'm sharing music with you. I don't need to thin this. This is literally falling apart on me. I do not need to thin this. That became very unworkable very fast with like just a little bit of paint. I might even break out my dry palette for this. I'm not sure. That's probably not entirely necessary, but still something I might do. Still something I might do. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. That looks like it's behaving much better now. Okay, so note to self, Screaming Bell does not really need to be thinned at all. And in fact, don't thin it. Like, at all. Do not thin Screaming Bell at all, Christian. Future Christian, do not thin Screaming Bell at all. Please and thank you. Very important that I remind myself, my future self, of this going forward. Alright. And also E2, the important thing to note about the Stream Beats albums and everything is that these are royalty-free tracks designed by Harris Heller for streamers to use on stream, especially like on YouTube. So like if in the future you plan on like doing a couple of your live streams on YouTube, then you'll want to probably use this music just to avoid getting any sort of copyright claims, especially now that you've made partner, which congrats again on, by the way. Now that you've made partner, you're going to want to make sure that you are, you know, of course, paying attention to that, so that way copyright claims don't result in any demonetization for you, you know? But I don't have to tell you that. I just needed to find an excuse to tell everyone here that you made partner, which I'm super proud of you for. Happy for you, dog. Yeah, that Screaming Bell works a lot better, I think, for the masks. Yeah, of course, E. Of course, E. I'll go ahead and hit the fleur-de-lis here too. Okay. Now on this next model, I actually want to use the Screaming Bell for a couple of things. I want to use it for this little skull detail right here. And for the... yeah, for like the tip of the flamer here too. I'm gonna use it for that. For like the ventilation here on the flamer, we're gonna use it for that too. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of saying yeah a whole bunch, I saw John Wick Chapter 4 over the weekend since the last time I saw y'all, and man, that movie was so good. It was, I think that was the first time I've ever gone to a movie by myself, and boy howdy, what an experience to usher in that with. I had a really good time. You know, those movies, they are nothing more than just pure action, and I'm happy that they know that. I'm happy that those movies, like the people who make those movies, know exactly like what it is and what it isn't. And I just love how they just maximize on what it is and just deliver, dare I say, sheer perfection every time without fail. My mom loved it. My parents back home in Virginia, they went to go see it, like a late night showing of it for like date night. And like my mom told me that she like cried at the ending. She was like, oh my gosh, this movie was so moving. But like, wow, really, mom? Like, you didn't even cry at the end of like freaking, or like at the beginning of like Up, when you took me to see it like years and years ago, because that movie, fun fact, came out on my birthday. Up came out on my birthday back in 2009. Best birthday gift ever question mark? Because there are still the first 8 minutes of Up, which will, you know, absolutely wreck you if you're not ready for them. And wreck me, or little 9-year-old me, did it ever. I love your mom. Yeah, I love my mom too. I love my mom. She's great. I'm my whole fam. Mom, dad, little sister, puppy dog. I love them all very dearly. Aw, I miss my dog. I haven't seen them in so long. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen him in so long. Them or him or my family, I haven't seen any of them, is what I was thinking of just now. I haven't seen them in a minute. It's been a little while. I haven't seen them since around Christmas, or since just after Christmas. But because my sister now is going on college tours herself, they are going to be passing through sometime next week, so we'll get to see them then. So I'm happy I get to see them for a little bit. Get to show them what I spend all my time romping and stomping around New York City doing. Well, almost everything. New episode of Yellow Jackets tomorrow? Ooh, nice, nice. I'm looking forward to this week's episode of Succession, because now Succession is back. Started, I'm all caught up. Watched the first episode the other night. Loved it. I think that show, again, that show is another example of like people who write that show, who run that show, know exactly what it is, and again, just deliver on that and try not to like be anything else. Janine says, tell Kennedy to, oh, my sister's name is Kennedy, tell her to visit A&T. I think they're going down to North Carolina, because I think my dad mentioned that she might be interested in like UNC Chapel Hill. So I'll make sure they go by I'm sure they'll go by A&T, because like my family's from Greensboro and Winston-Salem. My dad's side of the family is from those two parts of North Carolina, so like I'm sure they're going to be passing through there. I think she might also be interested in Elon too, so there's that. There is that. So I'm sure they'll be down there. I'll make sure she goes by. I'll make sure she stops by. How's A&T's pre-med program, Janine? Because that's what she wants to do. She wants to go pre-med. Much to the relief of my parents. Much to the relief of my parents, my sister wants to go pre-med, so you know, they're excited about that. Meanwhile, here I am almost triggering the apocalypse, trying to be an arts major. How a clinical laboratory scientist and a retired army colonel produced an actor of a child. I will never be able to tell you, quite frankly. I am a military brat, by the way. I don't know if I mean, some of y'all already know that about me, but I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on stream before, but I am in fact a military brat. In fact, even though I like came from Virginia, you know, from before school and everything, that's where I spent like most of my life. I was actually born in Texas originally, because that's where my dad was stationed at the time. And then we moved out to California for a little bit. Moved out to California for about a year or so, because that's when my dad was going to airborne school out there. So that's why we were out in Monterey for a little bit, and then after that was Virginia. I don't remember much about Texas or California, so kind of want to go back at some point just to see, because I have family in Dallas. I know some of my mom's side of the family is in Dallas, because we visited them. Actually, oh my god, I totally forgot. I visited them for Christmas one year, because that's where my great aunt lives on my mom's side, and that's where I got Drawn to Life, the DS game from like 07, at a local GameStop down there, and I played that like the entire trip. I said bye all, and I just went off in a corner and played Drawn to Life on my DS Lite for a little bit. Anyone else remember Drawn to Life? That game was lit. Not Scribblenauts, not to be confused with Scribblenauts, although I freaking loved Scribblenauts as a kid too. No, but Drawn to Life, where you like would draw like the enemies, your character, some of the NPCs and other things, and it would like put it in the game as part of like the story. The developers really said, man, we do not want to make all these assets for this game. Well, why don't we just get the players to make them themselves? Genius. That's the cynical 20-something-year-old brain talking, looking back on that time in retrospect, looking back on that game in retrospect. But it genuinely was such a charming experience. I loved Drawn to Life. In fact, I'll often just be like walking around, and like suddenly the music from that game will like pop into my head. I'm like, oh my god, where have I heard this before? And then after some thinking, I remember like, oh shit, it's Drawn to Life. Yeah, that game had some really good music. I love me a good RPG soundtrack. In fact, going back to what I was talking about earlier with like how I like making playlists and sharing playlists, I recently made what I like to call my golden hour playlist for like when I'm like walking around when like the sun is setting and stuff. And on that album is I wish I could make an album, but no, but on that playlist is a bunch of like RPG music. Like I got some Kingdom Hearts music on there, Final Fantasy music, some other games like Cave Story. I got some Stardew Valley music on there, some Pokemon music like the Twin Leaf Town theme from the Gen 4 games from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Things like that. Things that like sound good at sunset, you know what I'm saying? Things are like, or like give like sunset vibes. I often take inspiration from my playlists from the environment. Like back in the fall, I made like a fall seasonal playlist. Top 5 games. Hey, what up, Jordan? Top 5 game soundtracks. Top 5 game soundtracks. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to hold on. I'm gonna go back to Just Mix. I'm gonna have to sit and think about this. Oh my god. Actually, no, we can go back to me. That's fine. Okay, top 5 video game soundtracks. Holy crap. Why am I forgetting every single video game? You know what? Let me start painting again, and I'll think about it. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm sure it's gonna come to me. I can't rank them in the exact order that they belong in, but in no particular order, there is, actually, hold on, let me wipe that off. Okay, what are my top 5 video game soundtracks? In no particular order, it's Bravely Default, the 3DS game from like 2013 or 2014, something like that. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is definitely up there, specifically the soundtrack from Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which is like the full complete edition of Kingdom Hearts 2. What else is there? Oh, there's the one Supergiant Games game, makers of like Hades, Transistor. Their game Transistor, that game has some amazing music. Love the soundtrack of Transistor. And then, let's see, I need 2 more games, right? I'm trying to think. Other games, I think I would pick... Oh god. What else would I pick? Let me think. Final Fantasy VII. Not to harp on Square Enix again. But there's that, and then, oh, Devil May Cry 5. Or really all the entire Devil May Cry series. Yes, Nikki, Spine of the World, yep, yep. I know exactly what you were talking about, yes sir. Yeah, Devil May Cry 5, that soundtrack, especially like, especially the song Bury the Light. The one that goes, bury the light deep within. That song, love that song. I listen to it like when I go on like slightly more efforted walks, almost a run but not quite, which is my form of working out so to speak. Oh, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Oh yeah, give it. Oh, okay, hold on. Here's a 6th pick. I know you didn't ask for this, but like bonus pick, Animal Crossing New Leaf. That soundtrack, oh god, captured my heart as a kid. I love Animal Crossing New Leaf's soundtrack. That's a goated soundtrack right there, for sure. Okay, yeah, I think I'm settled on that. I think I'll leave it at that. What about you? What about y'all? Anyone else got any favorite video game soundtracks, if applicable? Oh, shout out, honorable mention, by the way, to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe soundtrack, especially the rendition of the N64 Rainbow Road theme from that game. Love it. Zeal says, I gotta go, but have fun. Okay, Zeal, have a good one, fam. Thank you for joining in. See you later. Have a good night. Rest well. Appreciate you. Yeah, Animal Crossing New Horizons, though. That soundtrack also slapped, too. Oh, this sister is coming off her base, which is not great. So she's gonna have to go to the infirmary here in a little bit. Alright, gonna set her aside for now. Battlefield 1, Halo. Ooh, Zelda, Zelda Ocarina of Time, of course. Classic, Nikki. How could I possibly forget? Oh my god. I'm trying to think of some favorite tracks of mine. Every time I hear the Forest Temple theme from Ocarina of Time, I get filled with... Oh, you know what? Okay, here's a 7th pick too, I guess. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, different Zelda game. The Oath to Order and the New Wave Bossa Nova. Those songs from that game slap. Yeah, oh, the Battlefield 1 soundtrack is gorgeous. All the Halo soundtracks, of course, gorgeous. I'm trying to think of other favorite tracks from Ocarina of Time. Oh, Gerudo Valley, yeah, duh, Gerudo Valley, yeah. Gerudo Valley, and then I really liked, even though that place creeped me out as a kid, I really liked the, nah, maybe not. I'm trying to think, let me think. Ocarina of Time, it's been so long, it's been like, I just realized it's been like 11 years since I last beat that game. I should play through that again on Master Quest. I mean, I was always a big fan of the Kokiri Forest theme too, for sure. Oh, the I know this isn't a couple of Zelda games, but the I forget what it's called, but the theme that plays when you're racing the horses, the that one, I love that song. It's such a fun little ditty, fun little doot. Yes. And then Jordan, going back to one of the ones you listed about Battlefield 1, yeah, they really put their whole foot in that soundtrack. I remember back when you, me, and the rest of the guys would play that, when we were in high school, and just the way during operations that music just really set the mood, set the tone. I always really appreciated that. It really felt like a movie. Forza Motorsport 4 and 6. Interesting. I mean, you know me, I've never played Forza. How can we forget the Wii home screen music? Absolutely. Oh, you know what? Speaking of Wii games, another game that had some really good music from the Wii era, Pokemon Battle Revolution had some really good battle themes. Oh, shoutouts to Pokemon Platinum too. Specifically, of course, the only Cynthia, her battle theme still instills Cynthia's battle theme still instills fear in my heart to this day. I hear that, I go right back to that night I tried beating her for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so terrified. Because that battle was hard, especially as a kid. Even today, I think I'd still struggle against Cynthia. Even though I'm much better at Pokemon now than I was as a little kid, obviously. Yeah, Cynthia's battle theme, iconic. The Wii home screen music does indeed slap forever. And the Wii Shop channel theme. Speaking of, rip the 3DS and Wii U eShops, y'all. They just got shut down last week. So if anyone owns those consoles, hope you got the software you wanted before they shut those down for good. They will be missed. There were some bangers on there. You know, another game that's got a really great soundtrack too is Valhalla, the game where you play a bartender in a Cyberpunk City's bar, the city Cyberpunk City bar. I don't know if anyone here has played Valhalla. So far, I'm the only person I've ever met in my life who's played Valhalla, if I'm being honest. That game has got some really great music. I love it. I discovered that game back when I was going through a really big chiptune phase in my life, especially when I was still at my peak Steven Universe fandom. Yeah. And that was around the time I found Valhalla, and I just instantly fell in love with that game. especially for its music and its atmosphere. I'm no longer talking about my favorites, really, just other like soundtracks that like really left an impression with me. Yeah, that was like a long time ago as well. We should get back to playing that at some point. Oh my god, a recent play of mine, Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect. I just got that on sale last week. I think I mentioned this last week on stream, but I got that during the spring break sale. Yeah, I got Tetris Effect, and that game's soundtrack is amazing, which is kind of the whole point of that game. Again, like I said last week, there's no way really for me to like perfectly or even like half perfectly describe the experience of playing Tetris Effect. It's really something you either gotta watch a video of or like you gotta like play it yourself. I highly recommend playing it yourself. It's pretty much, I think it's available on pretty much all platforms at this point. I know it's on PC, I know it's on Nintendo Switch because I recommended it to a friend of mine who has it on who has a Nintendo Switch, actually one of my co-workers, because she loves puzzle games. Ultra Kill, the game Ultra Kill, which is still kind of in early access but has really been making waves here lately. That game's got a really great soundtrack, very epic soundtrack to it. Trying to think of what else there is too. Have to. Hey Flux, what's good, man? Thanks for joining us today. How you doing, man? We were just going over favorite video game soundtracks because Jordan had asked, and of course I had to, you know, give shout outs to Kingdom Hearts 2. Which I know is a mutual favorite of both of ours. Okay. How are we doing on time? It's 8:47. Wow. We are working very efficiently here tonight, y'all. Go us. I did remember telling myself that I would do like the little armor tubing here. Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts for sure. Kingdom Hearts all the way. Mm-hmm. Yawn. Oh my god. Yesterday, y'all. Speaking of yawning. Yesterday, I experienced one of the most painful things in my life yesterday. So here lately, especially because of stress, I've been like clenching my jaw a lot lately, and I paid the price for that yesterday when I like let out a big old yawn, and like right behind my ears, my jaw popped so violently, like it popped so hard that like it hurt. It was like it hurt for like a good solid, like, you know, few minutes there. I had to take my boss passed me an aspirin so I could like take that, or not an aspirin, an Advil, so I could take that for the pain, which definitely helped. But yeah, it hurt so bad I needed like an Advil like on the spot. That was terrible. Would not wish that even on my worst enemy, quite frankly. No, rip. Yeah, I know, right? Ooh, yep. My voice and speech teachers, they'd be ashamed of me, quite frankly, for holding that much tension in my jaw. They'd be like, shouldn't be doing that. And we're like, haha, very funny, but I'm in pain right now. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. That reminds me. Yeah. Tell myself I gotta massage behind my ears just to make sure. Keep that nice and loose and healthy from now on. Whew. Feel free to take a second to stretch, y'all, as well, and massage your jaw. Let go of any tension you might be holding back there. You never know. It is still sore. My word. The way I forgot all vocal techniques from school. Me too. Honestly, me too. Me hecking to Erica. Oh my goodness. Oh. Now's as good a time as any, of course, to remind y'all to please don't forget to like the stream if you are enjoying what you are seeing here tonight. Of course, as always, it greatly helps out the channel, especially with the yield algorithm looming ever so menacingly above our heads. And if you're new here and you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you know exactly when I go live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, now daylight time. So we've swapped that in recent times. Rather annoyingly. I'm going to try to remove that little mistake I just made while it's still a little wet. Oh my god, Nikki, if you're still there, it made me so happy earlier when like you like recognized Transistor when I mentioned it, because like I literally only know like 2 people, and you're the second one who have played that game other than myself. And it's such a great game. One of Supergiant's best in my opinion. I mean, I know Hades is kind of like the poster child of like all their games now, but like for me, like Transistor will, as much as I love Hades, Transistor will always be #1 in my heart. For sure, for sure. That's one of those games where like I loved it so much, I beat it in like a week, because it was like the only thing I was playing. I've only experienced that with like a handful of games in my life. I experienced that with like Pokemon Black. I experienced it with Kid Icarus Uprising. And then I experienced it with Transistor. They're probably, oh, and Bioshock Infinite. Everyone knows all their games, but not that one. Exactly. No one knows Transistor, and that yes, I agree. It's so good, and it's such a shame that no one knows. No one really knows it as well as they do the other games. My guys, what are you doing? You're missing out. You know what? It's so cheap now too, and the best part is like many other Supergiant games, you can play it on like basically anything. Like your computer does not have to be that powerful in order to play Transistor. It can be like a little. I think it can be like a potato pretty much, and you can run that game just fine. Run, do not walk to play Transistor is my advice to the chat here today. Another piece of Chimera Games branded unsolicited advice is go play Transistor if you haven't already, and thank both me and Nikki G later, because that game is truly amazing. I'm trying to think what other Supergiant games were there. Was Hades, there was Bastion. I played Bastion a lot back in the day. I'm trying to think what else does Supergiant make. Trying to remember off the top of my head. Try to remember here in a little bit once I get to a bit of a stopping point with this painting here. Let's see. Yeah, Bastion, I can see what you mean by that. I think because I played it when I was younger, I was like more willing to buy into it. I probably would not play Bastion today if I was like playing it for the first time. You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you. I do think Transistor is better than Hades. I think Hades is a great game. Do not get me wrong. But like, I don't know, sometimes I think that the game is like, I think Transistor is a much more well-balanced game than Hades. And you know, I'm not super far into Hades, so like I can't really talk story, but like I found myself very engrossed by the story of Transistor in a way that I haven't quite found with Hades yet. Now that might be just because I'm not super far into it. In fact, I'm sure that's the reason why. Like, yeah, I don't know, something about the story of Transistor just like has always stuck with me. It's one of those games that just sticks with you long after you finish playing it, you know? And that's definitely the case for me. So I think I beat that game like, shit, like 5 years ago, I think, at this point. And I still remember so much of it. It's like when I played BioShock Infinite for the first time. I'll never forget my experience playing that game. Freaking love BioShock Infinite. I know it's not a lot of people's favorite BioShock game, but it's my favorite BioShock game. I think I've played through it like 3 times too. Going up in difficulty every time until I got to like the hardest difficulty. Which is still one of my prouder gaming achievements is beating BioShock Infinite on its highest difficulty. So I'm usually not the type of person to play games on their highest difficulty, if I'm being real. If I'm being like for real right now. But I did BioShock Infinite because I just loved that game that much. So there you go. Goes to show how much I loved that game. I was willing to play it on its highest difficulty. Speaking of highly difficult games, heard that the Last of Us PC port launch was pretty rocky this week. Heard there were a lot of graphical glitches and whatnot going on with it, which honestly I saw coming from a mile away, because like how many times have we seen with these like console to PC ports just how they're broken on release? Not utterly broken, but like, you know, varying degrees of broken, some of which are utterly broken, not all of which, but some of which. Like there's like slightly broken, and then there's Arkham Knight at launch levels of broken. You know? And Last of Us is definitely toward like the earlier end of the spectrum, at least from what I've been able to tell based on like the reporting I've seen, the reviews I've seen online and whatnot. But I mean, like, hey, you know, it's The Last of Us. It's one of the most iconic video game series of all time. It's so iconic that they literally just spawned one of the highest rated TV shows on streaming services, like, period, you know? Any of y'all got like a favorite video game adaptation, like video game to movie or video game to TV show adaptation? Out of curiosity. I know I got one, and this is going to be kind of a hot take, but I think that Mortal Kombat Annihilation is such a fun movie. Like, it's bad, don't get me wrong, just like the first Mortal Kombat movie, it is bad, but Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I don't know, it's just, I go back, I'm like, you know what, I don't entirely hate this, it's like so much fun. The second one had a 40K reference too. Like The Last of Us Part 2? Or the second episode of the show, Nikki? I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to remember what you're thinking of. Because I did not play The Last of Us Part 2, so I mean I know how the story goes because like it was kind of a big point of contention. I remember like in the fandom, which we will not discuss story spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 in this chat. My girlfriend will be so mad at me if we do. But yeah, remind me what the, or tell me what the reference was in the, if it was in The Last of Us Part 2. Okay, it wasn't The Last of Us Part 2. What was the reference, out of curiosity? Let's stretch one more time here. Whew. Oh, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and super glue this scroll back to the... For sure, no spoilers. Appreciate you, Nikki. I just wanted to make it clear that I know for a fact that not everyone in this chat has seen or played, seen the show or played the game, so I just wanted to make it clear. I'm so excited for the second season. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it too. I wonder if they're going to change anything. Going through the buildings, you come across an unfinished 40K. Wow, really? That's so cool. I'm gonna have to look that up later. I'd love to see what that looks like. Aw, an unfinished 40K game. That's so sad. Oh my god. Coming across an unfinished 40K game. AKA another 40K game. Nah, I'm kidding. Although, I'm gonna be for real, of all the games of 40K that I've played, literally all of them we've had to like end due to time. Like we just got to time and like just took a tally. Well, not all of them actually. Some of them actually were pretty decisive, and those were the ones where I got like spanked the worst. Those were like at the ones at the Warhammer store tournament I went to like back in the fall, and got my cheeks absolutely clapped. Especially by like this one Blood Angels player, and then again by this one Word Bearers player. Very, very melee heavy armies, which sisters are not ill-equipped to deal with, but like it's not their strong suit. Especially because most sisters units keel over in a stiff breeze, because it's kind of like a glass cannon-y type army. Which I hope they give us just a little bit more resiliency in 10th edition. That's like my big wish list item in 10th edition. Just like make sisters a bit more resilient, please, so that we don't lose entire units in a phase. I was talking with Ultra Lord today. You know, we were talking about how like in 10th edition they're gonna be getting rid of the morale phase, which is the phase where you like test to see based on like how much your units got damaged if like any additional models from that unit basically flee from battle. And we were talking about how like, you know, he plays Thousand Sons, and Thousand Sons are basically like armored, are just suits of armor possessed by ghosts basically, so they don't really need to take a morale check. So they don't get affected by the morale phase at all. And I was like, yeah, you know, sisters, we don't have to use the morale phase either. Like, we're pretty unaffected by it too, because usually entire units die at the same time, so there's no point in taking a morale check. So therefore, we're technically immune to the morale phase. Feels bad, man. Isabel says, except everything keeps getting spoiled on it. Yeah, the issue with The Last of Us Part 2, babe, is the fact that that game, I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but just to say it again, the Last of Us Part 2 was a highly contentious game release, especially because of like certain story decisions that were made, and so like the story was just like really the only thing people talked about with that game. So yeah, Last of Us Part 2 discourse is like a like a minefield of spoilers. So like my recommendation is don't try your best, try your absolute best just to avoid anything Last of Us until Part 2 comes out, or like watch a playthrough of Last of Us Part 2 on YouTube and kind of like spoiler proof yourself, I guess, maybe, unless you want to wait for the show. Nikki says morale phase always seemed like a goofy idea. Yeah, I agree, Nikki, especially like as we got later into 9th edition, because like the power creep was just so much that like in most games that I observed and most games that I played myself, you know, entire units were getting wiped out by like, you know, your opponent's most powerful units anyway, or like by players' most powerful units anyway. So like morale phase kind of just didn't matter. And it would be like the type of I observed so many situations where like, where like both players or all players involved in the game would just forget the morale phase exists purely by mistake, not even trying to like skip it on purpose, but just like literally just straight up forgetting about it, because it's like, well, I had so much like death and destruction on my team, it's like, well, do I even need to take a morale check? And in some cases you might have to, you just probably didn't realize it because you were too busy focusing on how to keep all your units alive. Or, you know, so many armies too have rules that like let them ignore morale or effectively ignore morale because they get like boosts in leadership here and there randomly, you know, or like maybe some units have like built-in abilities and keywords that keep them in the fight for longer and make them immune to the morale phase, you know, stuff like that. Your TikTok For You page is entirely Last of Us. It feels like it would be losing. Oh yeah, no, big time. In fact, I'll never forget the first time I ever played against Necrons. I remember like my opponent's like 20 brick of Necrons fired into what did they fire into? He had them fire into like a 10-woman squad of battle sisters I had on the field sitting on a home objective, and like 6 of them got wiped from that, which I was like, dang, that was like remarkably good Necron shooting for one thing. And then for another thing, later on in the morale phase, when I had to take a morale check, I had like 3 more leave. I had 3 more flee the battlefield due to failing the attrition test, failing morale, then failing the attrition test. So I ended up losing like, what is that, like 8 or 9 models in one go. And I was like, bruh, that just didn't feel right. That just didn't feel right at all. Because also like, I feel like lore wise, battle sisters wouldn't flee even if like 3/4 of their unit got like wiped out, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm glad they're getting rid of the morale phase though. I am also happy too that that like the psychic phase is sort of getting folded into the command phase. That way there isn't like an entire phase of the game where like if you happen to not be playing a psychic army, it's not like you're just like not allowed to interact with your opponent, you know what I'm saying? I think they're folding, if I remember correctly, they are folding the psychic phase into the command phase. So like that's good. I think that'll be a nice positive change. I'm also really excited to see like how they do stratagems too. Because hot take, I think by and large having like a lot of stratagems was pretty cool. I think like having like a lot of things you can like pick and choose to sort of customize your play style, like give yourself some more player choice in the game, was always like really, really good. However, there were certain stratagems, even like core rulebook stratagems, where I was just like, why the heck does this exist? This literally breaks the game. Especially the stratagem that lets your models counterattack when they get charged. Because then like my Repentia, I just like send in my Repentia, which are like, you know, toughness 3, 1 wound apiece with a 7-up save, so like they literally cannot save themselves. They're gonna take damage no matter what, right? They're super fragile, but they hit like a truck. But then, like, if my opponent, because, you know, Repentia have that reputation for being tough, if my opponent sees my Repentia coming into them, then automatically I know the reason why they've been hoarding those 2 command points the entire game is so that they can counter offensive me, and then, like, I lose all my Repentia before they can, like, really do anything, and I'm just like, that's not fun. That is not fun at all. Apologies for the mini rant about Warhammer 40k 9th edition stratagems, but yeah, all that is to say, I'm really looking forward to the changes in 10th edition, going back to what we were talking about before. I think overall it's going to be a very positive shift in the way 40k is played, and I'm looking forward to participating in that, especially because it's my first brand new edition since I came in 9th edition, you know? Came in December of 2021, so very comfortably in the middle of 9th edition. Nikki, remind me how long you said you've been painting Warhammer for? I forget off the top of my head, I'm so sorry. Okay. 2 years now, I think. Maybe a little longer. Ah, I bet. That's sick. Gonna take a quick hydration break. Speaking of things that are sick, it's always cool to hydrate, folks. Don't forget to do so. Please. Let's see. Okay. Need a burrito. Oh. Okay. What is next to paint? I think the next thing we have to paint is some faces, actually. I think it's time for some faces. Finally. Which is exciting. Okay. Let's get into that. We'll start with the Sister Superior here. I think I'm going to punch in again for this step, actually. For your viewing pleasure. Still got some cleaning up to do on her, but that's okay. We will get to that when we get to that. I'm going to clean up this little bit right here, right now, though, at least. There you go, perfect. Are you still planning on doing non-metallic metal Celestine? Yes, I am. I am still planning on doing non-metallic metal Celestine. In fact, you just reminded me, I gotta go back in my calendar and figure out how to plan out those streams for her. But yeah, I still definitely plan on doing a non-metallic metal Celestine. The plan is to give her like copper armor, kind of like how she has golden armor, but like in the canon, like Games Workshop art, and then give her like blue tinted wings with like a little bit of a blue to light blue ombre effect on them. That's kind of the vision, that's kind of the goal, that's kind of the dream. Could I also do some non-metallic metal on her Gemini Superior too, her sidekicks? Bold, thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, it'll be the first time I've ever tried doing non-metallic metal. And I'd like my goal, or like for my own prep, I'm gonna like work on like my blending technique and like my glazing and stuff like that in the lead up to that, so that way I feel better prepared to like actually tackle the project itself, you know, because only gonna have one shot at it, so I want to make it count, you know. But yeah, that's kind of the vision for my Celestine. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been finding some really great non-metallic metal tutorials on YouTube, and I've been kind of just like studying up. So yeah, be on the lookout for that, y'all. That's gonna be a pretty lit time to be tuned in right here to Chimera Games. I must say. Okay, so right now in my head, I'm kind of strategizing how I want to go about doing this sister skin. One thing I will say, speaking of skin, one thing I'm really happy to see trending throughout all like the paint manufacturers is that they are starting to make like better paints for skin tones, especially for like people of color skin tones. I think that's a really great like step. Going to eat dinner, might be back. Good luck. Thank you, Nikki. Enjoy dinner. Bone apple teeth, as the French say. And we will catch you when we catch you. Thanks for stopping by again, man. Really appreciate your support. But yeah, I'm really happy that more paint manufacturers are like paying attention to the fact that there aren't like a lot of great paints for like other like for like a variety of skin tones. So like for example, like I want to make this sister black, make her a sister, so to speak. But like the best color at least in my collection that I have is this speed paint dark wood. But we're gonna like build up the layers too and try to like make sure we can like bring out some more highlights and stuff too. Give her face some nice dimension. These sisters' faces kind of like make me super nervous because some of them tend to be sculpted kind of sketchily, I'd argue, you know. But this one looks like it will take speed paint pretty well, or like speed paint / contrast style paint pretty well. So we're gonna give it a good try here and see what happens. We don't need a lot of paint. We just need like a little bit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this as like our sort of base coat. And then, should I change brushes? Yes, I'm gonna change brushes. I'm gonna whip out the size 0 brush. This is gonna be a size 0 brush job. Slightly smaller brush. They say to use like slightly bigger brushes with speed paint, but I'm a little nervous about doing that with this face, so we're just gonna play it safe. Especially because speed paints are highly sensitive to water, and I just used water to thin this down. Alright, y'all. Let's do it. Wish me luck. There we go. I can already tell that's going to be a little bit too much paint. Actually, no, that should be fine. Okay. Okay. Tiny brush indeed, babe. Tiny brush indeed. Okay. 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 That did not go horribly. It's a little tiny bit right here I gotta kind of get. Okay. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, so real quick. So, as I might have mentioned before with speed paints, one of their like sort of like qualms that people had with these paints is the fact that they reactivate with water really easily. But in my opinion, that's one of their best features, because then I can clean up my mistakes that I make with my speed paints very easily. You get like a lot of time to like clean them up too, which is good. Hold on, I gotta look at this right, kind of like IRL for myself real quick. Yeah, honestly, you know what? That's fine. We can work with that. I'm just gonna clean up the paint here real quick. So we got a little bit of the paint on her hair, but we can fix that though. I'm gonna take some of this other paint, this sort of like dark gray paint here, and I'm gonna just take that. We're gonna cover that up real quick. Sorry about that, y'all. I just realized I've been off frame for that part right there. Okay. 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 We are making it work. We are making it work. There we go. Gentle movements. No sudden movements. No drastic actions. Alright. Gonna manually air dry that one a little bit. That way we can move on very quickly now to the next layering step. Normally I'd give this a little bit more time to dry, but I don't think I want to do that because I want to try maybe blending it a little bit more. Also, we're gonna make this other sister, we're gonna make her black too. So I'm gonna also get her. Her head should be considerably easier since it's like fully exposed with no hair. So this should be a piece of cake right here, honestly. Yeah. And see that speed paint is just chasing the crevices and just falling right in there, giving us some really nice incidental highlights with our zenithal underneath. And giving us a nice map for where our painted on highlights are gonna go exactly. And that is why we zenithal prime. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is exactly why we do this in the first place. Here we go. Get the back of her head right there. See, that's kind of like her under that collar right there is kind of like her whatever like layer she's got on underneath her armor, so we don't have to paint that brown. Paint that brown, I don't think. I want to make sure there's no paint pooling near her eye sockets because that won't look great if it dries on like that. That should be fine. Okay. Okay. And we have her skin color down. More or less. Alright, let's move back to the Sister Superior real quick. So for the Sister Superior, now that we've kind of like quote-unquote dried off her face a little bit, the next thing I want to do, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of color experimentation here. Pay attention to like the right side of your screen where my wet palette is visible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blend a little bit of the dark wood now with a little bit of Vallejo brown rose to get us a nice mid-tone here. Let's try like 2 drops of dark wood. And we'll do like 1 drop of brown rose. That was definitely more than 1 drop of brown rose, so we're going to compensate by adding an additional drop of dark wood. Okay. Now we're going to mix these. We will use the size 1. We're going for here is just like a sort of medium tone to transition us then to some higher highlights, and that looks pretty good. I actually quite like that. It's not perfect, but we're gonna make this work anyway. I'm gonna make this work. Okay. So we're gonna go back to our size 0 brush, and now we just want to look If you look at her, you see like where the light is kind of falling on like her cheekbones and stuff. That's kind of the areas, and like on the bridge of her nose and like on her mouth. Those are kind of the areas we want to focus on with this color, since it's like a higher light level. Hold on. Let me adjust here so y'all can see a bit better. So that I can see a bit better too. Let me get her jaw right there too. I get the mouth and lips too a little bit. Like I said, this isn't really a perfect like skin tone at all, but we're doing the best that we can. I'm really excited because in the future there are going to be some more paints coming out that include some better skin tones, so I'm excited to pick those up potentially in the future and experiment with those. Those are going to be coming from the Army Painter, so I'm excited about that. They're re-releasing the speed paints with a new 2.0 formula, one that doesn't rehydrate upon contact with water, and one that in the set, when the new release will also feature some new colors too, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, Isabel says killing the face so far. Oh, thanks babe, I appreciate that. I don't know how easy it is for y'all to see, but here's where we're at so far. We'll go in some more with some more highlights in a little bit here. Using a sort of weird hybrid mix of two different types of paint mixed together often yields interesting results. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. I'd say right now it's a pretty good thing though, I must say. And because the paint we're applying now has a little bit of water into it, it's kind of slightly reactivating the base layer we've already laid down, so we're getting some nice sort of incidental blending going on, which is another reason why I love the 1.0 formula for speed paint. Am I glad that they fixed the reactivation issue, or quote-unquote fixed the reactivation issue? Yeah, sure, because, you know, it'll make other types of painting very, like, much more straightforward now. I am gonna miss the, what the rehydration kind of brings to the table, though, I must say. But good thing I do own some 1.0 paints anyway, so I'll still always have access to that myself. And I'll have the 2.0 speed paints if I get those in the future. I'll have those when I need them, you know? It's all balanced out. All works out eventually. Oh yeah, that looks great. Oh my god, wow. This is like slowly turning out to be like one of the best faces I've ever painted, actually. Which is like encouraging to see, because like one of my overarching goals ever since I like first got into mini painting was to improve my face painting. I feel like that's happening right now. I'm very happy about that. Like I said, the skin tone's not perfect, but I'm willing to work with it though. Okay. See, since she's bald, it's interesting because like that means most of her head is actually gonna be exposed to light in a way that isn't true for most other sisters who have like their white hair. You know? And again, kind of a little bit closer to like the crevices of her eyes here. Get her eyebrows here. Check the back of her head too. That's pretty exposed. We're gonna need to, yeah. You can also tell my paints that I've mixed together are kind of starting to separate a little bit too, which is fun. But nevertheless, we can work with that. We can definitely work with that. And you know what I can do is I can always apply another layer of like the original dark wood over top of this if I want to pull her skin back to being a little bit more brown, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, actually. Just reapplying some dots of dark wood here just to sort of make her skin just a bit more brown. Kind of doing like a pseudo glazing type situation right here. Again, not a perfect solution, but it's the best one I can think of right now. And you know what? When in doubt, there's always YouTube tutorials in the future. We got some paint on the armor there. We're gonna fix that real quick. Let's scrub off this mistake right here as much of as we possibly can get without damaging the model too much. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the superior now. Okay, so what we need now is we need to take some... Done with brown rose for the time being. I'm gonna take some pale sand. Maybe not pale sand. Let's mix light flesh here with some dark brown. Here we go. Some, nope, that's hardened leather. I need dark wood. There you go. How's everyone doing so far? Are you hanging in there with me, y'all? I'm gonna do like maybe 2 to 1 again. Just a single drop. Cool. I should just put that back right there. Mix that with the size 2. That is definitely, that's pretty close to what we want, actually. Yeah, it's having a great time. That is good to hear. Okay. Alright, here we go. Top level highlight time. Normally I would go through and do all my top level highlights, in one step, but since we're just working squarely on faces right now, I figured I might as well just bang it out right now. Bang out the face highlights right now at the very least. Procrastinating taking my makeup off though. You should definitely do that before you're going to bed. That way your face doesn't get all sticky and your pillows and sheets do not get all ruined. Yeah. Definitely do that. I think I mixed my colors wrong. I do like this. It's not the color. This is not the face color that I imagined for her at all, for either of them. But honestly, I'm kind of here for it. And we're just going to roll with it. We're just going to keep on rolling with it. Oh yeah, see that actually turned out, see this one actually turned out quite nice. I gotta say this turned out better than I thought it was going to. And maybe the other would look the same if I could see like more of her face, but it's like kind of hard for me to see even like right here. Even from like right here being like right next to it. Gonna add some highlights to her face. Yeah. I'd say that's not a bad face at all. Definitely better than what I've done in the past. I'd still call that progress any day of the week, quite frankly. For me. And we did that even with using speed paints, which are notorious for the reactivation. So that's cool. Stretch again. What time is it? 9:37? Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. So, what do we have left to do now? Isabel says, so slight. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Okay. What do I have left to do? Having a great time. I think I'm going to have to sign off. Thank you for the stream. The vibes were awesome. Oh, okay. Hey, thanks so much for coming by and watching again. I really appreciate your support. I'll see you around. I'll be there to catch your next stream too. And have a good night, sis. Thanks again for coming in. Bye. Shoot. What was I talking about? Yes, I need to figure out. Okay, yes. So now we're at the phase, I think, now where we can start correcting / covering mistakes that we've made. Repairing mistakes that we've made, I should say. Good night, E. Good night. Alright, so let's take some of our French. I have a plan here. We're going to take French Mirage Blue. And we're going to put it like, let's put it like right here. And then I think after we do this step, this might be it for the night, based on how long this takes. So now we got to go mistake hunting. Okay, see like a little tiny ding right there. We're only going to use the size 0 brush for this part. We shouldn't need a tremendously large amount of brush to handle this. There's no such thing as mistakes. So true, bestie, so true. However, I do want to make my models look a little bit neater than they do right now. So that's what we're going to focus on right now, for the time being. Jan turned out pretty neat, actually. There's not a lot on here that I would say is worth correcting at all. Or if it is, it's like a very easy cover-up. Very easy CIA cover-up. Okay, perfect. Jan is the queen. I agree. Jan is our queen, our hero. Our lady of perpetual heroism. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically mask off these mistakes with French Mirage Blue, and then we're gonna go back with the Celestium Blue, because like most of them are on the armor anyway. And if they're large, yeah, if they're large enough, if they're egregious enough, we're gonna go back with the original Celestium Blue from like way back when we first started, and then we're just gonna recover them. Basically, just reapply that paint to that area. That's the major drawback to using translucent paints, is that like you have to be really careful about making mistakes, because then they become harder to correct, or they are innately harder to correct later on since your paint is transparent. You know. Unlike on the robes though, where like because we used like more traditional acrylic paints, I could just take that and just cover it up. These little splotches of white that ended up on here, I can just cover those up like that, and in time with the beat of the music. I'll take that. Again, these straight up do not have to be perfect at all, because these are just rank and file sisters after all. We're going to be a lot more picky in the future when it comes to our models once we get to like the bigger projects, so to speak. This sister's looking pretty clean. She's got a couple dings on her armor, but that's okay. Have you considered doing a varnish layer after doing your armor base coats? You'll end up spending less time cleaning up the armor since you can lightly scrub off mistakes. Oh, I never knew that that was a thing that you can do. Nikki, thank you so much for that tip. Let's see. Have you considered doing a varnish layer after doing your armor base coats? You'll end up spending less time cleaning up the armor since you can lightly scrub off the mistakes. I'm literally gonna write that down like right now. That is a trick that I did not know existed, and I'm so glad that I do now. I'm so glad that I know about this now. Give me like 2 seconds, y'all. Thank you, Nikki, for that. I really appreciate that. So I actually do have some matte acrylic varnish lying around here somewhere. Layer after armor base coats. Bet. Okie doke. Now that we've made a note of that, let us continue. Okay. I'll send you the varnish I used. You can quickly blast it through an airbrush. Yes, please. Yeah, definitely. If you got a link to it, send it to me over Instagram. Yeah, thank you, man. Especially if it's airbrush friendly, that'd be much appreciated. Because now that I think about it, I'm not entirely sure if the varnish that I own is... It's like Vallejo brand, but it's not like Vallejo model. color brand, so like that's what gives me pause. So it gives me a bit of a pause to when considering like whether or not I should use that. It gives me pause for concern. That's the word phrase I was looking for in my head. Okay. Okay. Don't use the Vallejo matte varnish through an airbrush. Yep, that's what I thought. That is what I thought. Good thing I got it for $2 because it was on sale at the art supply store because they were going out of business. It'll make your model look frosted. Ooh, geez, okay, that is definitely good to know. I am so glad that I've literally never even tried it. Because I'm sure I would have been pissed off if I had. Oh my god. Nikki, you just saved my bacon there, my guy. Oh my god. It's kind of terrifying how it can make your model look frosted. I hope for your sake you didn't have to learn that through trial and error. I ruined some Hellblasters learning that lesson. Ooh. Dang. I am so sorry about that. Well, hey, on the bright side, some valuable knowledge was gained from that experience, right? Oof. Too bad it came at the cost of what I'm sure were very, very dear models to you. As they all tend to be for all of us who paint miniatures. Everything, or at least I know for me, it's like everything from like the simplest Necron warrior or Sister of Battle to like, you know, frickin' Celestine. I'm like, these are mine, you know? I gotta look out for them, you know? These are like my children. Okay, not my children, but you get my point. Y'all get me where I'm coming from. You're picking up what I'm throwing down, I know. I hope so. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. But on the bright side, we are coming up close to time. We are coming up close to time here anyway, so you will not have to hear me ramble for very much longer here, y'all. We'll be out of here shortly. Okay. Alright. Alright, what time is it? 9:49? What do I want to do? You know what, I might just make a try at some of the parts that require recoverage on Celestian Blue, or at least I'll do this one sister having just a part that somehow I left completely blank is bothering me. What are your thoughts on the new 10th edition stuff? Oh, what's good, Godzilla Nid? Thank you for joining us. Welcome in, welcome in. I talked about this a little earlier on stream, but I'll recap some of my thoughts for you real quick. I'm very excited to see that indexes are coming back. I mean, I didn't play during any previous edition. I started playing Warhammer 40k in 9th edition. So I'm excited to see like indexes. I'm excited to see rules for like multiple different like factions coming out at the same time, because like my biggest gripe with 9th edition was that like codexes were released like one by one. Oop, didn't mean to bop the camera there. What else? I'm really interested in the morale phase, especially going away, just because like the morale phase always just felt like it was just so brutal. Clearly I'm a sisters player, right? So like morale phase was always so brutal for me when, like, you know, 3/4 of my unit would get wiped out. So I'm like, you know, coming down to the wire on the morale checks, you know. I'm really happy about the data sheet redesigns too. I think those are going to be much easier to read. I'm excited to see if some of the more like unit specific stratagems for sisters get folded into the data sheets. Like biggest wishlist items are, like, for example, are to have like the mortal wounds on a charge stratagem for like for anything with like a Paragon Warsuit on, so like Morven, Paragon Warsuits and stuff, or like Deadly Descent for the Seraphim and Zephyrim. I'm excited to see like those types of stratagems be potentially baked into the data slates or the data sheets for like sisters units. I hope they don't bring back counteroffensive as one of the core stratagems, I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited that the game is overall just gonna be like simplified but not like simple, to use their words that they used in the Warhammer community article about that. What else? Oh, I think a lot of the new Tyranid sculpts that have been revealed so far, gorgeous. I think the Termagants look so cool. Oh my, and these are just like basic troop models, you know. I'm interested. I don't really have like an opinion toward it, but I'm really interested to see how they treat combat patrol going forward. I'm glad that they're like paying attention to like alternative ways of playing traditional 40k, like combat patrol, boarding patrol, and like making sure that like those game modes that people love are getting like rules updates to match more with 10th edition. Oh, you know what? The stuff about the army building today came out. List building. It seems like it's very similar to Arcs of Omen, and if that it does, like with just kind of like the troops, it seems like it's basically just Arcs of Omen, but like the troops are your automatically like your compulsory choice of unit. Which, if that's the case, more or less, I'm really happy with that. I've been really happy with the Arcs of Omen detachment ever since we entered this iteration of chapter approved. Yeah, I think like the lean into like the simplified army building is going to be like huge. I hope like sisters still have like, you know, like they're for flavor reasons, for fluff reasons. I hope they still like keep like the orders and stuff in some way. I hope they don't like entirely go away. But yeah, those are my general thoughts, Godzilla Nid. Hope that answers your question. How are you feeling about 10th edition, friend? You know what, since we took the time to chat about that, I think I'm just gonna go back to, I don't know why this is doing that. We'll move this back up there. We'll fix that later on offline. But yeah, I think we're gonna stop there in terms of the painting tonight. Yeah, I think we got a lot of great work done. We are literally like we're this close to finishing, y'all. Next time it's gonna be like, you know, continuing to patching up of mistakes a little bit. It's gonna be doing a couple of like little highlights here and there just to make the models pop a little bit more. I'm really excited about the Tyranid stuff, Godzilla Nid says. I would hope so, as your username suggests. I would imagine. Also, Godzilla Nid is such a cool username. I'd be curious to know if like you like, if you paint and play Tyranids, like if you have like any sort of like Godzilla inspired like paint schemes, because like I can kind of see in my mind right now like what a Godzilla inspired Tyranid might look like, which I think would be pretty cool. But yeah, we got a lot of great work done tonight though, y'all. So yeah, next stream, these are going to be finished. These are definitely going to be finished next stream. I'm really excited for them to be, and then we'll move on to our next project, whatever that will be. I'm still I have a thought. I already have one thought about what the next project is going to be, but I might change my mind. I'm not entirely sure. I know I mentioned earlier about like doing a non-metallic metal Celestine. I'm still gonna wait on that one so I can prepare for that one. That is what your profile pic. Oh, I'm only leaning in so I can see that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That is what your profile picture is. I see that now. It is a little tinier on my screen, so I couldn't quite make out what it is. Okay, dope. Dope. All right. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, thank you all so much again for joining me once again. To those of you who are new here, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, y'all, before I head out for the rest of the night, don't forget to please leave a like if you liked what you saw here today, or tonight, I should say. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and of course, smash that notification bell. That way you know exactly when I go live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And yeah, thank you all so much for your support. I hope you know that I really enjoy doing this for y'all. I really enjoy just painting alongside y'all and chatting with y'all every week. This is one of the things I look forward to in my week. It's been a very fun, month and a half of streaming with y'all so far, and here's to many more in the future, Take care, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Be well, drink water, and have a good rest of your night. Or morning, depending on where you are in the world. Take care, y'all. Have a good night.